All right. Yep. So there's that win that I was hoping we would get, and let's just say it was typical Browns fashion. I mean, we even got an overtime in there, and strange that Tom Brady couldn't accomplish one, two, three times getting down the field in a small amount of time when that's what he's like known for his whole life. I mean, I don't know. The guy's got some off the field issues, obviously, and I think it's really showing that between the ears is pretty important in football because that's just not characteristic of him. But I mean, we played some good defense for sure. It just seemed like Evans was open 20 times, just like wide open, and was overthrown. And I mean, sure, our coverage was good, but I mean, this dude could catch anything. I mean, he didn't even try. All those times he was just sort of like stop jogging, and they didn't even bother throwing a penalty because like the contact was minimal, obviously, but at the same time he seemed like he just was like, nope, 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 not that one, not that one. So that was crazy. And then to think that in the end, Njoku would make that catch one-handed in the end zone of all people, and he's known to be like Stonehands McGee. It's just crazy. It was crazy. And, I love watching these fullback packages. It would have been cool to see us kick the field goal, but, Cade York really just screws some kicks up. So, I mean, I'm glad that we didn't just go straight to that. But still, I mean, instead of just kicking the ball, we were like, we're going to bring in the jumbo and we're just going to start running a couple of these packages. And Hudson, man, I mean, it's just cool seeing the fullback come in and he'll just run over there and immediately stop the person coming at him. There was somebody, I think it was probably the person who jumped off sides in the end, but he was like darting to go ahead and take out Chubb or Brissett. But no, Hudson came over and just blasted him. But for that matter, on the Cooper throw, um, it was Hunt that did a pretty good job at diving down and taking that guy out. And it was a group effort and it was great. I mean, really that 3rd and 21 that we had, I was beside myself. I was like, all we had to do at that point was drive it down and score any points at all. We could have attempted a 67-yard kick like Baltimore did and missed today. We could have done anything, but instead we had 3rd and 21 after all of our bungling mistakes. I mean, it was just ridiculous. But the defense did pretty good. I mean, it's like I said, it's hard to say that Tom Brady's his full self, but to stop Tom Brady that many times is pretty great. And, classic Browns, at least lately anyway, we started out just so fast. We ended up getting this touchdown, and then we just basically did nothing. And they had Fournette out on the other side. And I don't know. This is why I was pointing to this on the schedule. I was saying if we needed one win in the last 3 games, this is going to be it. Because, I mean, Tom Brady's just, he's got a chink in his armor, and, they didn't even have their main running back. And it just seemed like they were always struggling to go, against the elements. I mean, of course, they had all their receivers. They had Godwin out there doing everything. The announcer even was like, oh, and I always love this because if somehow we can't stop them, but the announcer knows what's going to happen, then there's an issue here. But the announcer's like, oh, if there's Godwin at the top, he's going to be one of his favorite guys. Probably going to go right to him. And then, boom, went right to him. It was like, why don't we have some better answer for that problem? It's like when Kelsey's out there, Cup's out there. I mean, if it's going to go to some person every time, then, I mean, you really have to just start doing some preventative behavior. But, yeah, good win. And, I mean, Watson will come back. And like I said, it's an easy game next week. That'll be nice. Of course, from there, we're going to end up having to deal with a bunch of random teams. And unfortunately, I looked at the schedule of some of these other people we're competing against to get a spot in there. And they have some pretty easy schedules, too. I mean, everyone can slip up, but we need a lot of people to slip up to really become relevant again. But, what a nice send-off for Brissett, who beat one of his mentors, I mean, they kept saying that during the game, but I thought that, too, before the game even started. Like, here he is. He's going to come in. I'm pretty sure he played behind Tom Brady at least one season. And then, I guess he's been talking to him for his entire career, trying to get better tips. And now the student beat the master. And it's tough. It's a tough year for Tom Brady, but I don't know. I'm sure that team will continue to roll, and I don't know that he'll come back next year, although now the damage has been done, so maybe he'll just play until they won't let him play anymore. But, man, this year he's just been distracted, and Chubb, that's another thing here. This guy, I mean, 100 and some yards. I don't, like, the last game, we just got away from the running game, and everyone always says this to me who doesn't really, like, watch the Browns a lot. they're like, oh, well, why don't they just run Chubb more? Well, I mean, Chubb already has like top 5, yards in the entire league. So it's not like he's not running the ball, and it's not like we aren't running all the time. But I get it. We get away from the run game sometimes because we're worried about the score being run up, and we lose control. I mean, we want Brissett to do too much, and that might be the thing that Deshaun Watson really brings, is that when we have to have these times where we mix it up a little bit, we don't have to just always rely on the run. We can maybe have Deshaun Watson do some play action. We can maybe have him, go out there and run a little bit himself. I mean, we knew he was good like 7 years ago when he played, or whatever was the last time he played. I'm just saying 7 because it feels like it was so long ago now that I'm like scared. Next week we're gonna lose the game. It'll be the second win for Houston or something, just because, Deshaun Watson 2 years out plus the Browns. It's just not a good thing. But I guess he's been doing some decent practicing, and I don't know. Preseason he looked pretty terrible, but I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic. You have to be as a Browns fan. I say that every video. And, at this point, really nothing to lose. Go back and sling it, run around. Let's try to do something really cool. It would be nice for this season to end out with a bang, but remember what happened last time when Baker Mayfield came in halfway through his season, and he threw like 10 interceptions, but he got like 35 touchdowns, and everyone was like, just wait till next year. Just wait till next year. And then we had to just suffer through that situation for way too long. So here we are. We got several years of this guy. This doesn't have to be the year, but if he comes in slinging and everything looks nice, we really can't take a step backwards next year. I mean, people are out here talking about, like Kevin Stefanski needing to move on, or somebody else having to call these plays. Like, no, all right? Like, this season was supposed to be just some kind of random, we don't expect much season. So the fact that we were able to get 4 wins, pretty good so far. At this point, though, we really just need to rely on Deshaun Watson to be himself. And if we can, how exciting. We might not make the playoffs, but, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to see this team just start going on a winning streak. And it would be fantastic to hear people in the media actually talking good about the Browns for once. So I'm here for it, It's almost like the season's starting over again. But what a nice send-off for Brissett. And I don't know. Cleveland doesn't look so bad in the Cavs world anyway. So if the Browns didn't pick back up, we still have a lot to look forward to next season with the Indians too. But stay tuned, guys. I think next week is going to be pretty cool to watch. I don't know yet, though. We'll have to see.